Welcome to week 4, Keefer's Corner, joined by Coach Dan Keefer. Coach, how you doing today?
Doing good.
So we had Ellsworth last week. Didn't go really the way that we wanted it to go. Any quick things that you would like to say, or do we just want to flush that out and move on completely?
Well, you'd like to just be able to flush it, but the reality is we got hammered pretty good. I felt like we didn't compete anywhere close to what we're capable of competing. Give Ellsworth all the credit in the world because they're a really good team. There's no denying that. But I felt like we made some mistakes early, and I felt like those mistakes snowballed. And that's one of the hardest things for a coach is to see when you feel like your team is underperforming. So it's tough, but there's lessons that you can take from it, and hopefully we're going to apply it and be better. I feel like kids have turned the page, and I feel like we practiced well this week. So we obviously have a lot to prove.
How much film did you watch from Friday's game? Like you said, it started off not well. It snowballed. A lot of that to me is you just kind of have to move on. And
yeah, it can be counterproductive. We actually, I believe defensively, we showed 5 plays that represented what happened in the game. And we didn't need to belabor the point, so it was a fairly quick turnaround. And, we switched our focus to Altoona, obviously, and that's a challenge in itself.
So with the 7-team conference, we're going to play Altoona, which is going to be considered a conference/non-conference game. It's going to impact playoffs.
Yes.
Potentially, right?
Yeah, this is the first 2 games. Our first 2 wins, the win against Sparta and GET, have 0 bearing on our playoffs. This game does matter for the playoffs because will count as a conference game. And
we'll be the only team that plays Altoona as a conference team. Every other team in our conference will play a different team from their conference.
Exactly. Both the Cooley and the middle border have 7 teams. So the largest enrollment from the middle border plays the largest enrollment from the Cooley, and so on down the line. And this year, the way it worked, our last 2 years, it's worked out that it's been Altoona.
So Altoona is going to be a conference game. Ultimately, 500 and above are the teams that'll make the playoffs, right? Is that typically
Yes.
how this is going to work?
Yep, that's how it'll work.
So we're looking at a conference game. We've had success against Altoona in the past. What do we think about Altoona, the 2021 version of?
Altoona's a better football team than they've been. They've already won 2 games this year. That's, I believe, a significant improvement over last year already. I believe they have every single starter back. They were a very young team last year. Their staff was very open with that fact that they were a young team. And you see a lot of those younger players a year older, a year better. So they're significantly improved.
The rest of our conference, Ellsworth is kind of the team that we expected to be the premier team in the conference coming into the season. There were some games this past week. Osceola sticking it to Central pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Amory that beat Somerset?
Somerset beat Prescott. Prescott
Prescott
beat Somerset.
So does the rest of the conference feel more really wide open than maybe you had anticipated 3 weeks ago?
I really think this is true of the middle border. I do think that Ellsworth is clearly the favorite. I think it's possible that every other team in the league might be better, or at least 5 of the 6 I think are going to be better teams this year. So I think it's going to be competitive, and part of it's going to be I think staying healthy is a big deal, but we certainly feel like we have a chance to be in everybody we have on our schedule right now. We feel like we have a great chance if we continue to improve that we can play with anybody.
And that's probably not uncommon for a lot of teams in the conference to feel, right?
I would agree. I don't think anybody's looking at this thing saying, "Oh, hey, we can't compete."
So there should be a lot of games conference-wide that are very competitive.
I would certainly expect so.
And the way that it'll typically play out is that the top half of the conference would make the playoffs. So
right.
Finishing the top half.
Yep.
Creates more ball. JV played Monday against Ellsworth. How did that go?
It was a really exciting game. I was very, very pleased with the effort that our kids put together in Ellsworth on Tuesday. Our kids had the lead most of the game. We were up 8-6. We scored first. We were up 8-0. Then they scored, made it 8-6. There were 3 minutes left in the game, and Ellsworth scored to take the lead. So obviously they have momentum. They go up 12-8. Gavin Sell had a really nice run, got down to like the 20-yard line. I think we had a 1st and goal, maybe on the 7-yard line. And we had time. You know, we had, I want to say we were maybe just under a minute, and we had a fumbled snap. Ellsworth recovered. It didn't look good. We had 2 timeouts left. Got a stop on 1st down, got another stop on 2nd down. We used both of our timeouts. They ran the 3rd down play. Again, got a stop. They had to punt. So we had like 30 seconds left in the game. We're down 12-8. They're backed up. And Evan Clausen, freshman, blocks the punt. We are coached to scoop and try to score. We were unable to do that. And this is actually heads up by our guys. If they would have recovered it in the end zone, that would have been a 2-point thing, and we would not have won the game. Conversely, if they would have taken a safety, which I'm sure their staff would have liked to have taken the safety on that punt instead of trying to punt it backed up. But we were fortunate, and then we had 11 seconds left at that point. We had no timeouts left. The clock's going to start with the snap. And Ellsworth took a timeout, which actually helped us, I believe, because then we got into a play that once we saw how they lined up, we got a play that we liked, and kids executed it, so that was great. So it was really exciting, and you know, great for morale. You know, our JV, that young group, the freshmen and sophomores, are a very talented group. Although we don't have great numbers, they're really good football players, and it's nice to see them win. You know, a nice, resilient comeback win at Ellsworth. So that was a lot of fun. I thought it was a big deal for our whole program.
So was it one play at the end to win it?
That was it. I mean,
Where did the punt get?
the punt, they punted. They were backed up at. I want to say they were maybe they were on the. They were pretty close to the 10-yard line.
Okay. And it got so.
Well, no, they must have been out. Maybe they were at say the 20.
So we block it.
We blocked it.
We jump on it.
Yes.
Outside of the end zone.
Outside the end zone, like on the half-yard line.
Oh.
We're on
so
the
it
half-yard line.
So okay.
It was right there, you know. But we didn't have any timeouts.
Right. So you had to run a pass. You run a pass play.
We passed. Yeah.
And is Graydon Monikin was he?
Graydon Monikin.
And he finds who in the end zone?
I can't remember if it was Gavin Sell or if it was Clausen. It was one of those two. One's 2 and one's 3, and they're both similar size.
On a walk-off win.
Yeah, it was pretty much a walk-off win. We did have to kick off, and that was it. But
That's perfect.
yeah, it was fun. So, good time.
Anything else for the viewership this week?
No, we're just excited to get back on the field. It can't come soon enough. You know, there's you know, you can't care too much, and that's certainly the thing. It's very difficult when you get beat like that as a coach. It really is, and it's very difficult for kids. And you know, we're expecting a much better effort, and you know, hopefully we have leadership, not just, you know, we all collectively have to do a better job, and we can't, you know, leadership, there isn't one leader, there's multiple leaders, and hopefully we have a culture that we don't get down and feel like we can't compete. That's unacceptable. So we're emphasizing that, and we're get a chance to prove that we're a good football team, and I think we'll see that Friday.
So you go home from the game Friday and you say to yourself, at least I had the Badgers tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I had that in the back of my head. There might have been a couple, as I watched the film, I went like home immediately after and just started.
Yeah. But the Badgers, they didn't.
Oh, the Badger thing was torturous too. I just, you know, they just let that one go. But I thought they played grade D, obviously, but.
Now they get to turn the page and they play Eastern
Michigan. Yeah.
So
I'm sure.
So this week we're gonna get 2 wins and not 2 losses.
I got to be better.
Yeah, all right. Well, thanks again, and we'll be back next week with another edition of Keefer's Corner.